Lara Maigue is trying something new as she sings jazz at an upcoming event in UP.
That's right, Christine. And Lara is here with us this morning to tell us more about this and to serenade us with jazz music this Tuesday morning. Good morning, Lara. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning. It's so nice to be back here.
Well, it's always a pleasure having somebody with a beautiful voice like you sing in the morning.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you know, yesterday I had to wake up at 4 a.m. for an event, and it was I had to sing something very high and very classical.
So how was that in the morning?
Well, I have to wake up really early, like at 4.
Para may warm up.
To vocalize, and I have to talk a lot.
Okay.
And then I have to really wake up the neighbors.
So your background is more like soprano,
Yes.
like more classical, and then you were trained as a classical opera singer, but then this time, why the shift to jazz?
I was very lucky to grow up with loving both jazz and classical because my dad's a conductor of the UP Jazz Ensemble and my mom's an opera singer. So
Why not?
50% of me was always jazz.
Jazz. Okay. Was it a different or a challenging transition for you, Lara, to to take up jazz? Because like what you said, you have that 50% in you background because you've been listening to jazz all your life.
Well, it wasn't as challenging, but I did have to develop technique for it because it's not really that easy to always transition from classical, which is a different technique, to shifting to jazz and Broadway.
Yeah.
But you just have to get used to it, and you have to practice a lot.
Okay.
Do you have a particular jazz artist that was an inspiration to you or you look up to?
Well, we all love Ella Fitzgerald.
Yes. Oh, that's
and Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra.
Big
Who wouldn't
one.
love them?
That's a big one. So, are you here to stay in the jazz genre?
Yeah.
Jazz genre, or would you like to go back to your operatic classical and?
I'd stick to both because whenever I do shows, I would do opera, but would insert some jazz music and Broadway to keep it interesting.
Okay.
But actually, you did say jazz.
Jazz.
Because the title of our concert this Saturday is
Sakto.
We Jazz Turn 40. We Jazz Turn 40. So
Such a mouthful.
Galing ni Christine, may
Jazz,
subtle
right?
plugging ng concert. Kaya good job, Tin. Okay, if tatanungin ka, Lara, like for example, kasi magaling ka, talented ka, but is it harder to do jazz for you? Is it harder to do classical or opera music for you?
it's hard to do pop actually. Belting like
Beat it like that.
Beat
Beat
it.
it.
Because it's a different banana.
I can do beat it. You
when you got used to singing classical and with a classical technique, and I was fortunate enough to be exposed to jazz. Whoa.
See, that is difficult. I mean, that you have to study that. Not everybody can do that.
Exactly.
I did.
Nahihirapan daw siya sa birit, pero tingnan mo naman
Look
yun.
at that.
That's my form of beat it. But the belting part where it's all chest up till the that range.
Okay.
But I'd stick to classical and jazz because jazz is nice and smooth in the especially in the morning.
Yeah.
It's
And they will get more of this classical jazz and more of Lara Maigue. Why don't you invite all our viewers this morning to watch the concert?
I'd love for you to be with us on Saturday. That's May 26th, 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. We have 2 shows. We Jazz turned 40. The UP Jazz Ensemble is 40 years old under the baton of Professor Raven Maigue, my father, and I'll be hosting the show and I'll be singing as well. And we have special surprise guests, so you have to come.
Look forward to that. And then we look forward to hearing you sing as well. We can't let you go. We already heard your beautiful voice this morning as you were warming up. And so...
Want to join me?
Sure. Birit, opera, what do you like? No, go ahead. Start it up. Start it up for us.
We have Miss Lara Maigue. Take it away.
Okay,
Maestro.
I can actually.
Happy birthday, Andre. It's his birthday, right?
It is.
Oh, there it is.
All right, here we go.
One more, maybe.
There you go.
There you go.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for